Today, on What It's Like, 1952 Plymouth Belvedere with optional overdrive. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. This channel, we dive in deep on the lost and forgotten classics. Vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that tend to get lost to time. If that sounds like a channel that you'll totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. This 1952 Plymouth Belvedere is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall. What's Classic Auto Mall? Classic Auto Mall is the largest automotive consignment dealership northeastern region of the US of A with over 800 cars for sale when recording this episode. And get this, anybody can go there and it's totally free to get in. For more pricing, pictures, and information pertaining to this very car, click the link below after the show. Let's talk 1952 Plymouth model lineup. For 1952, Plymouth was broken down into three model lines. Cranbrook was in the basement, followed by Cambridge, followed by Concord at the top. Notice there isn't a Belvedere. Plymouth didn't offer the Belvedere as its own separate make until 1954. The Belvedere name first appeared in 1951, and it was listed under the Cranbrook series. For a special roof option, this was Plymouth's answer to the Chevy Bel Air and the Ford Victoria. Just like the Ford Victoria and the Chevy Bel Air, they were two-door hardtops. The Plymouth Belvedere is the same. Did you ever notice how similar the Plymouth Belvedere looks to the Chevy Bel Air? I'm just going to leave this here for a second, especially in the front. They look very similar. Belvedere was offered under the Cranbrook series from 1951 to 1953, becoming its own make in 1954 and was offered by Plymouth until 1970. The 1952 Plymouth Belvedere was essentially a carryover design, with the only key difference being the two-tone paint scheme. Two-tone flowed from the roof over the beltline onto the trunk, often referred to as saddleback treatment. Two-tone color schemes on offer: stable bronze over suede, black over mint green, gray over blue. So let's compare. Because the 51 is a carryover, we're going to go back to 1950, the Special Deluxe, which is what the Cranbrook replaced. 50 on top, 52 on the bottom. The fenders were heightened. The grille is more slender on the 52. Also, just notice that even though these are two totally different designs, just look at how similar they are. Looking at the headlights, it looks like they use the same headlight bezels. Turn signals are smaller, but in the same spot. Moving to the side and the side profile, these look very similar. Side trim on beltline is narrower on the 52. Updated wheel discs. Also, the windows look shorter on the 52. Different gravel guards. Gas filler design is a cap on the 50, whereas on the 52, it's behind a door. Moving to the rear, in the rear quarter section, single rear window or backlight. In the comment section below, what is another name for backlight? I hate that term because it gets confusing. Like, you don't know if you're actually talking about the back lights or if you're talking about the rear window. Anyway, rear window and or backlight is a single piece on the 50, whereas it's three pieces on the 52, and it's also curved on the 52 as well. Moving to the dash region, steering wheels are the same, but they have a different horn ring and center. 3 round pods on the 50 versus rectangular gauges on the 52. Which one do you like better in the comment section below? Moving on to specs: 193 inches long, 72.8 inches wide, 64.4 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 118.5 inches. Curb weight is 3,250 pounds. Price, $2,330, which is equivalent to you spending $26,304.38 in the year 2023. Total 1952 Plymouth production was 396,000 units. Total Belvedere from 51 to 52. I couldn't find a definitive answer for 52, so this is between the 2 years. 51,266 units. On to engines. Only one engine on offer. 217.8 cubic inch displacement. Flathead 6. 3.6 liters. It's good for 97 brake horsepower at 3,600 RPM. 175 pound-feet of torque at 1,200 RPM. With a bore of 3.3 inches and a stroke of 4.4 inches. Compression 7-to-1. 4 main bearings. When mated to a 3-speed with optional overdrive. Theoretical top speed is 83 miles per hour, 0 to 60, 18.2 seconds. Average fuel economy, 17.8 miles to the gallon. Two transmissions on offer, 3-speed manual or the 3-speed manual with overdrive, which was a new feature for 1952. Let's talk styling. Look at how this is all pushed up into a bulge here on the hood, but not just that. Look at how this line comes around and it meets up with the logo or the emblem in the front. Nice Plymouth name on the nose. Just look at all of the bright work. Look at how these turn signals and or running lights are angular. There's a crease right here. Look at that hood ornament. And then the center line leading to the cowl vent. The windshield, how it arcs into the point there. Split windshield, has this nice visor. This car is two-tone. It's got like this, it's not really a primer gray, maybe like a light elephant gray on the top scheme, and on the bottom scheme this really nice blue. The colors accent really well. Check out this part here. I think it's super cool where they decided to keep the color going. They brought it all the way down here. Usually the color would end here, but they decided to put it down here. Take a good look at that backlight. It's wraparound. It's 3 pieces. How this all comes back. They're almost like fins. They're more or less a protrusion, but they're very pointy. Reminiscent of 30s fenders. Notice how this turns in here. Also, check out where this comes and then it tapers into the door right there. Here's a better look at that. It's got a lot of nice clean lines, this car does. Also, the trim work is very interesting as well. And just the way that they did the doors, how it has this ledge here. Drip rail. And it comes down into almost like an S. Elongated S. Gravel guards. Fender bulge. Chrome piece. It comes out the side here. Back to the rear section. Back here we'll get in the trunk. Just take a look at how absolutely massive that trunk is. It's huge. It's so big that I can sit back here. And like, obviously I'd have to crouch down to bring the trunk lid down, but there's tons of room. There's enough room to sit back here. Before getting inside, just notice the door handle and how it's designed. Look, it's got pinstriped red lines. This is a Plymouth. How this is all texturized. This is what the door panel looks like. We're actually going to go to the other side. There's more space over there. This is the passenger side door panel. It's a lot like the driver's side door panel, only it's on the passenger side. And there's more room to open this door. That's why we're showing this one. But just notice all of everything that's going on. So painted steel up here, gray color. This is a cloth fabric material, and then we're back to vinyl at the bottom. Armrest door handle to pull the door shut. This is the door handle to get out. Window crank for the big window. Notice this window is all framed out. It's got a nice lip here where it's channeled, so it fits right over top of this gasket to prevent leakage when it's raining. Vent window. It operates like that. Notice this piece here, how it sticks out just ever so slightly so that when this comes back in, it can catch on there. Take a gander at this interior. It's a cloth vinyl mix. Down inside the pedal box down there, clutch, brake, gas pedal. The high beam dimmer switch is over there, closer to the side of the car where it generally is. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood looks like. Here's what the under the steering wheel situation's like. I wear size 34 pants, and the only reason I show this is because, well, frankly, you could be a rather big guy and fit in this car. There is tons of space. There is probably about 4 inches from my lap to the steering wheel bottom. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. Amp meter, right below it. Headlights, gasoline gauge, right below it. Panel lights, speedometer with odometer inside of it. Oil pressure, right below it. Ignition, coolant temperature, right below it. Lighter, radio, heat and ventilation controls. Up above, there are sun visors. Here's my hand for reference. They're pretty big, and they feel like a felt material. The headliner also feels, it's like a really soft, almost like a felt material. It's not exactly felt. It's like a soft cloth material. It's a different material than the seats are made out of. Rear view mirror, another sun visor. This right here is a traffic light finder. And if you have a sun visor, which this car does, an external sun visor, this is your best friend, because if you've ever driven a car or a truck with a sun visor, you can't get right up underneath the traffic light, otherwise you won't be able to see it. This, you'll be able to look through this and see if the light turns red, yellow, green. This is what I look like. There is tons of headroom in this car, and it feels very nice in here. The seats are very comfortable driving position. I absolutely love this steering wheel and love the color of it. I don't know if it's originally colored like this or if they dyed it, but it matches everything else, so I would assume that it's the original color. But man, it is so nice. It is a very big wheel, but it's thin and it feels great in your hands. This one also has the cowl vent, which is right here, which is a great place if you're the driver. You don't have to reach all the way over here to the center, which is only like another foot away, but you just push down on this and then that opens the cowl vent. See it opening there? On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here's my hand for reference. Here is our glove box in question. Glove box is absolutely massive. The entryway just isn't that big. It slips down. Oh, it'll fit. There it goes. Fits in there, no problem at all. All right, getting in the back. So the seat just folds up like this. And notice how much it pivots out of the way to give you tons of space to get in the back there. So yeah, this is what the seat profile looks like. It is reclined. It is comfortable back here. Mopar knows how to make a good seat in the 50s. So it's reclined ever so slightly. The rear does sink down in the back here, but it's not that bad. And the bench isn't too wide. It's actually pretty nice and comfortable back here. There are lights right here, as well as an armrest there. There isn't a coat hook though. Neither on this side. Armrest, light. The windows do go down in the back here, and they operate like this. Look at that, how cool is that? There is so much engineering involved in the operation of this window. It's almost unreal. Also, just check out how thick this is, and just notice it's notched out down here so that whenever it gets to its utmost position, it sinks down and covers that up. There are ashtrays as well. There's an ashtray here as well as over there. Here is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at what the greenhouse looks like. The greenhouse is pillar to glass ratio. It's really nice in this car. This car actually feels like you're sitting in a early Bel Air, like a 52, a 53 Bel Air. In the window, the backlight in the rear also reminisces the same shape and design. It was a 3-piece wraparound design, as well as this one is the same. That's what visibility looks like out the back. There is a nice shelf here. It's not terribly wide, but it's nice nonetheless. This is what I look like sitting in the back. I got tons of headroom, could wear a hat if I wanted to, and I get it, that's what these cars were for. Everybody wore hats everywhere they went. This is what my knee situation looks like. That's how much space I have between the middle of my hand to my fingertip. That much space on both sides. I wouldn't mind if I had to ride in this for hours. It's very comfortable. There's more space in the back of this car than in some of the cars that my parents owned that were SUVs when I was growing up as a kid. Getting under the hood release is right here. And you push it away from you, just like that. Second catch is right here, and you pick straight up on it. So this is the second catch, and it just operates like that. It's got dual horns, which are right there. Notice the heater is right here, as opposed to mounted to the firewall. That's super interesting. It's backwards. Generally, this is the last part, and it's all flipped around. Oil bath air cleaner. 6-volt battery. It's a flathead 6. Oil filter back there. Going to take a step back. That is as high as the hood goes. It's adequate. You could get under there and work on the car with relative ease. On the positive side, important to Plymouth's history, built solid, big value gains as of the last decade. Against it, a bit of an oddball, uninspired styling, not much collector interest at the moment. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. If you're gifted these cars, which one would you rather have? In the first scenario, 1950 Plymouth Special Deluxe or 1952 Plymouth Belvedere. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Moving on to the second scenario, would you rather have a 1952 Plymouth Belvedere or 1952 Chevy Bel Air or 1952 Ford Victoria? All right, we're going on to name that tune. First person to give me both the correct name of the band as well as song title, first person to do both correctly will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below, or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. If you don't have Facebook and would like to talk to me one-on-one, no worries. Shoot me an email. All of that information will be in the link in the description below. So if I catch you on either social media platform or you shoot me an email, just know that I appreciate all the support. And until next time, here are some scenes for our next episode. We are going back to 1973 to feature this Lincoln Town Coupe. How cool. This is the first Lincoln Town Coupe from this era that I've ever been in. That's what's coming up next. Tune in Monday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time to catch that episode. And until then, toodaloo! I say, boy, I say.